Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Writing Visual Studio Extensions with Matt. That's me. And as always, we got the multi-talented producer sitting in the background, Mr. James Montemagno. Hello, James. How are you?
I have like one talent. I can click on buttons on this user interface. Very good.
But you do that extremely well, I will say.
That's the talent. That is the talent. It's the thing that Microsoft really appreciates about me as an employee. And that's what I'm writing in my yearly Connect right now. It's like I can click a buttons real good.
Yes. Yeah, a good button clicking technique there.
It's important. I think it's important.
Absolutely. We got a lot of the usual suspects. It's fun to see that. I'm looking at the sort of the comments coming in from YouTube and from Twitch, and we have like a lot of repeat customers here in this shop. It's pretty wonderful. So hello to everybody, and today we're going to have a show about we're going to write some code. We're going to go back to write some code. We're gonna augment an existing extension, maybe the best extension there ever was and ever will be. There is a feature request out for some additional functionality, and it's been there for quite a long time. And I'm like, yeah, I should add that feature. So that's what we're going to do today. Let's see here. Usually, I start with the news, right? So let's take a look at my screen here. So what's the news before we dive into to the daily, the topic of the day? The V6 community, we have a little bit of a news item here. We are now up to having 4 different repos on the V6 community GitHub org. So the latest one is the Extensibility Essentials repo. That's actually a Visual Studio extension. That's the extension pack that, every week I tell people, go make sure that you install the extension pack called Extensibility Essentials. Just install it like you would any other extension, and that's going to make your life easier when you are writing extensions. It's an extension for extension authors, and it used to be sort of on my GitHub repo, but I've transferred that ownership over to the community now so that we can have a complete story that is kind of self-contained, right? So we can have like what is the community effort around writing extensions? How do we help each other out? And I think this is a key component in that. So that brings us up to 4 repos. We have a 5th one potentially coming in soon, hopefully, which is analyzers. We've had some discussions on one of the repos here about, hey, we should add analyzers that will help us as extenders do the right thing. So instead of having analyzers that say, what could that be? That'd be like, hey, this hurts performance or whatever. Don't use the API this way. These analyzers would be more like, how do we guide people in the right direction to use the new toolkit APIs so you have a more readable code, and you kind of learn to use the toolkit as well. And so the toolkit, for those who've not heard about the toolkit is this sort of API wrapper that sits on top of the existing extensibility API, making everything a lot easier. So I will encourage everyone, go check out the discussion. So go into the Community Visual Studio Toolkit, go to discussions, and check out what's going on. The biggest discussion we have right now is probably about how to name a certain method. And as you know, naming is the #1 hardest thing to do in computer science. So that's probably going to go on forever. So go in and join the conversation, and let's figure out what to name this thing that we're discussing. All right. So let's move on. Do we have any questions, by the way? Any questions for the news here before I move into the topic of the day? Let's see here. So there's some questions about C++. Is that right? Did I read that right? Yes, Cheyenne. I also hope it's not too complicated. That's the goal, that we're going to make this easier to do, right? Writing extensions. We do C# only. So it is possible to do C++ extensions, but there are very few extenders out there using C++, and you have to do a lot of manual legwork to do C++ extensions. And so it is not a recommended path. So C# is the recommended path. It's by far the thing that's going to take you there the easiest route. So I'm sorry if you're a fan of C++ and don't like C#, let's say, but that is how we do it for Visual Studio extensions. Yeah. I think that was it, right? All right, good. So custom templates. So here I have I have a repo. So it's under github.com/mattskristensen/add-any-file. That's the name of the repo. The Visual Studio extension is not called add-any-file. It's called add-new-file. The original name for it was, in fact, add-any-file. But I thought add-new-file was more accurate. Maybe also a little bit more boring. I don't know. That's how I usually name my extensions, is the most boring, sort of accurate description of what it is that it does. And so let me show you what it is in case you don't know. Here's the repo. I've opened it up in Visual Studio. I'm just going to add a file. So I'm going to hit Shift F2. And I can add any file to any file.cs, let's say. And it just adds that right there. And see here, it knows that it's a class. It created this sort of a class for me. And that's kind of nice, right? And it's actually so smart that I can also do a folder name. So I can say, okay, my folder / my file dot, actually I'm going to do myfile.cs. When I do that, it's a public interface because it was able to figure out, oh, the way I named this file was that of an interface, right? So it does the right thing and it creates a new folder, and that's kind of neat. So that's pretty much all it does. There's a few extra tricks it can do, like creating multiple files and so on. But this is pretty much it in a nutshell. So this is, as you can see, the best extension in the world. And now we're going to add the ability to add custom templates. And you might be thinking, oh, well, that can't take long because, you know, the host of this show probably prepared something in advance. So just copy in some snippets of code and that's it. But that's not the case. I did not prepare anything. As we talked about before, sometimes I like to prepare if it's something complex, but if it's not, I don't anticipate this being complex, then I think it's more fun to like kind of that we take the journey together and just explore the APIs and whatnot as we move ahead. So the only thing about this extension is that it was written a long, long time ago at a time in my life where I was not. Oh, I'm full screen, so I need to do it's story time. Can we do the story time thing, James? It was from a time when I wasn't so sure about naming conventions, folder, file structure, that sort of stuff. So everything is kind of just not very well organized in the code here, and so that's unfortunate. But I think we can figure it out anyway. All right, end of story time. So let's see here. I open my package class here, and this is actually kind of a simple extension. I have a package class, and I have a template map here. This is the template map. It's basically something that takes a file name and translates it into one of these templates that are listed right here. And what is a template? Let's take a CS file. Here it is. A template is very simple, right? It's just a string representation of what the code is going to be. The $sign means where should I put the cursor once I've created the file, or the caret or cursor. Not sure what the difference is. And see, it knows how to do C# interface here as well. But that's pretty much it. So it just matches on the file name extension. And that's it. That's the simplicity of things. So if I look at the template map, you can see here, I go in and I find the templates in the executing assembly. Let's actually look at that. How do you find the location of the file location on disk where your extension is installed to? So let's take a look at that. So I'm going to open my v6 file here, which is just a zip file, and we can see we have a template folder inside, right, with all these templates that I just showed you. So you can see here's my executing assembly. Add any file.dll. That's the executing assembly. So if I go in and I say, hey, assembly.get executing assembly location, it gives me the absolute file path to the DLL file. And then I just go in here and say, okay, get me the directory of that and combine with templates, right? That gives me this folder. And then I can say, get me all files that are in here that has the .txt file extension. And that's it. Okay. So here's what I want to do. The thing about this is like, there's no custom templates here, right? So what I'd like to do is I'd like to add, I think there's two ways we can go about this. One is that we can allow the user to override template or to add their own templates on a solution level. And another one is to like do it on a machine level, like in the user profile, like under your, my documents or whatever that follows the user profile. And you should be able to override. So we ship with a C# template that looks like this. It's a class. But let's say that you want a different template. Then you should be able to provide a cs.txt file that overrides the one that's in the template. Okay, so they're mutually exclusive, and the innermost wins. So the outermost would be the one that's coming in from the extension itself. The next one is the one that's defined in your user profile somewhere on disk, right under your username somewhere. And the innermost is the one that's in your solution. That's it. So let's see if we can figure something out. So again, my package class, I don't think I need to do anything. But I do need to figure out when I load these files into what template files, which is what template files, it's a string array. So a string array is not what I want to do here, right? I want to do, because I probably, do I want a dictionary? How are these used? So these are absolute file names to txt files. Okay, so let's see how I'm using them. Okay. I'm grabbing them, saying get file name. Okay, so I'm basically just saying get file name out of those paths and see if they equal something. So look for direct file name, then look for file extension. Get file name, extension plus default extension. Okay. So I think all I need to do is to update this thing with, I need to add to this from those different locations. So let's decide on a location. Let's do, what is that? Should we do user profile? In here somewhere. Let's see. Would that be a good place to put these? And we have a .vs folder. Yeah. Let's do that. So let's do .vs, and let's say we have a folder in here called templates or item templates or just templates. Or add new file. That's the name of the add new file. What do people think? What should this folder be called? Where should we put our custom templates? What's the name of this? And then do a reverse order check here. Nerdherder says reverse order check. Check solution, then profile, then package. Return first found. Yes, or simply create these in the right order. Simply fill in the array here in the right order. So I'm gonna duplicate myself here just a little bit. So I don't need assembly here. And folder, I'm gonna do user profile. User profile post, and here, so here's what I want to do. I'm gonna do environment dot special folder dot user profile. Combine that with .vs slash, was it capital VS? No, VS, and then templates. Let's say that's the folder. What's wrong with this? Oh, I need to say, just do this folder equals, should I say path, the get environment folder or get special? No, it's not path, then it's environment. Oh, environment. Get folder path, here we go. And we're doing special folder user profile, here we go. Okay. So we're going to go in here. Whoop. Folder. Okay, so now we have a user profile. So now I need to load that in. But this is a string array, so I need to make this something else. I'm just going to do a list of string. It's a using statement. There we go. To new that up, and then we can say template files, add range, and then we just throw an array in there. All right. And then down here, we need to do the same thing, but now there's an order thing. So well, we can do that afterwards. Add range. There we go. Okay, so I want to add my own first, right? I want to add user profile first. There we go. All right. What's wrong with this? Oh, because I'm not using the latest version of the compiler. That's okay. Let's just do a new list of string. There we go. Okay. And this is user profile. So this might be super easy. Like this might be all we need to do. Let's overwrite this CS file. So I'm gonna just copy it and go, where am I gonna go? I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna grab my .cs file. I'm gonna add new file. So we didn't call it templates. Let me just call it templates. Okay. So we need to modify this a little bit so that it's different. Let's just open it here. What are we going to call it? We're going to say hello, James.
Hello.
And just so that I see that things are done right, I'm going to set up. No, I'm not going to set a breakpoint. This is just going to work, right? It's one of those. It'll just work. I think so. So far, we've only done things that are guaranteed to work. Let's take a look. I feel like every time I say that it's just going to work, it fails. So maybe I just jinxed myself. Okay, so now I should be able to create any CS file. So let's do foo.cs. And we should get a hello, James.
Hello.
No.
Uh-oh. Broken. You broke it.
It's an ordering thing. Let's see here. Okay. Going to set a breakpoint there. We're going to do this again. Oh. Shift F2. Okay. Let's do James. Actually, I don't know if you knew this, but you can do like a emoji in VS. So file names. I don't know what happens in this particular extension. Let's try it. Okay, so template files. So the first one, see, it did find the first one. That's the correct one. Did you see that? Template file. Here we go. So it's there. So if I go F10, I get what? If it has any of those, then save .cs. Oh, so it's not even here. It's like it's in get template. Watch the folder. See, it uses the wrong folder. So there's something wrong here. It can't use. Well, it should just use it directly. So we have a save name. We have a file extension. Okay, hang on. because it already checks for whether that's the thing. So I should say, I'm just going to pull out the first one that matches, right? So we say, okay, I'm going to check twice here. That's kind of silly, but let me just do it anyway. So we say template files first or default. And I guess I want all this stuff here. So we can say var template equals this. One too many. We say adjust for specific. Adjust for specific. So let's do file instead. Template file. Get template. It should just return file. All right. So we say template file equals that. Oh, what did you use? Adjust for specific. But I feel like adjust for specific is important. Oh, that's how it figures out if it's an interface. All right. It's time for me to look in the comments. Usually there's always someone that says, hey, just do it that way. It's much better that way. It's like, okay, yeah, that's right. So let's just say temple file. So we say adjust is fine, and get template is it's that get them just combines folder name and extension. I don't care about that. So what do I need this one for? Oh, yes, I need this one because it changes it to interface. Okay, so hang on. So now I have my extension, I have my C#, but what if it's an interface? I need to save name and extension. I need to keep these here. That gives me template. Then I need to say get template. Okay, so let's just do this. Let's copy this up. So we're not going to do get template. Instead, we're going to, instead of folder here, we're going to do something silly as like path get directory from temple file. This is not pretty, but we can fix it up once it's working. Which is this now? It's totally working now. Don't you have to order the list before you do first? Well, it is already ordered. I ordered it in how I fill it up. I know that the order in a list is not guaranteed, so we may have to do something. I've never run into issues where it wasn't actually ordered, like where things would fall out of order. So I'm not sure if that's a real problem or what, but I'm sure that you C# experts know what to do. So we do this again. Now, this, of course, needs a lot of refactoring because the whole get template thing is wrong, right? So the get template thing needs to take, yeah, this needs a lot of refactoring. But let's just start here. We're gonna do foo.cs, and then we'll see what happens. Come on, hello, James.
Hello. I should have hit a breakpoint, no?
Yeah, did I leave it there? I think like just because I'm attaching the debugger, it takes it a while to kind of figure out what's going on. Let's put the breakpoint back. Oh, or maybe did I not hit the right button? Foo.cs. Here we go. All right. Okay, so template file is now the right. Yep. That file exists. And it's a .cs file, that's right. So now the template file is, there's not foo.cs, that's not the template file. Template. Well, maybe that's. Oh, that's why nothing happened. The file doesn't exist. Could not find the file. There's no foo cs.txt. Yeah. Okay. So I completed that wrong. Template file.
I think because you're adding the name there.
I know. So I shouldn't be doing that. But where's the name? Give it a safe name. Like this one?
I think so, yeah. Right, because it's just the file, and that's the default extension.
Right. But okay. And this is just because we need to adjust for specific for the interface case, which is the only special case that we have right now. Is that all it takes? Just remove that name. Man, this is code that is could use a.
You could always have added the breakpoint and then modified it in memory, so you don't have to stop debugging, try again. Because you could run it and then set that template file to the correct.
Yeah.
Are you even using the template file later on? Let's see.
But I have a feeling this is it, right? This is now the thing that works. Let's see. So yeah, so that's why I didn't create one. Okay, here we go. Foo.cs. Boom. We move along. So now the template file is no, what?
Oh,
That's not right either.
So what is name? Where is name coming from? Hover over name.
Yeah, where is name?
Right there. Oh.
Save name. Well, the template file is just equals to this one.
Yeah, but go up a little bit, line 43. What's a name right there, over there?
Foo.cs. So that's what I typed in.
But you need to look for you need to append not name. You need to append extension plus default extension. See what I'm saying? Like you are appending the name, but you actually need to append extension because it's cs.txt.
Like that.
Yeah.
Let's try that.
And just modify that in the browser. Like try it. Like hover over a template file.
Oh, extension is. I'm not sure what happened there.
Probably got mad at you.
Let's just do this again. This might completely break. Foo.cs. Come on, let's do it. I don't know if it was. Okay, so this now works. It's not pretty, and it also failed. Nope. Hello, James.
Hello. Paired programming. Boom.
Paired programming. Okay, so this is pretty wonderful. I'd say. I think like extremely wonderful. So that was case number 1 at the user profile. Should I spend time cleaning it up or what? What do you think? Oh, it doesn't work because it wouldn't work for this one. So let's do a specific one. Let's do bower.json. Right? That's an actual type of file that you might have. Bower.json. So this one wouldn't work because that looks for a direct file match. And that means, well, it might actually work. You just do it like this instead. Oh. There we go. That's a template file. That doesn't exist because I have to copy that and move it up. But it's different. So I need to look inside here. Okay. That might be it. And that means that 0 references to this one. There's a lot of copying here. There's a lot of duplicates. But this one looks at template files. I think we could do something that's a little bit better than that. We can do something a little bit better, because what is it I want to do? What I want to do is say, hey, if you have anything that's closer to your project than your user profile, right, that one wins. So I want to look at any folder structure that's in the same folder that we add the file, or above it, all the way up to the root, so the C drive or D drive or whatever. And then that's the inner scope. So, but you know, that's also recursive. It should continue all the way up. But that might be okay. What if I do this? What if I do a var list equals template files to list. And now I'm gonna augment this list. So I'm gonna say add templates from current folder, and I'm gonna give it like path.get directory name. You know, we have the file name here, right? String file. Oh, no, name. It's right there. Oh, get file name. We just want to pass it in the directory. All right, and then let's create this method. Okay, so here I can now go and say I need a folder called, what should the folder be called? Templates? Should it be a .templates instead of a templates? Maybe. So let's do a private const string template, right? And it's called the template. Oh my God. Templates. There we go. So that means that this one here has to be template dir. And then we're doing a loop. We're gonna do a loop-de-loop. All right. So what is this doing? Is this returning this? We should take a list of string. There we go. So we pass it this to list, and we getting a file directory. Let's call it not dir, but dir. And we can say so we can say current while while directory get parent exists or is root. This directory is root. No, not directory root. Oh man, why can't I remember this? Current. Okay. So I should be able to say current. And then we can see if parent is null or something like that, right? If parent is null, we're at the root. Full name, get file. I just thought that was like, oh, here, root. Yeah, so if current is different from current.root, then we can say current equals current.parent. There we go. And we can also say if now we need to make a folder. So we're going to do a template folder. So var template here equals path combine current dot full name. full name, and I'm going to add, what do we call it? Template directory. So if this exists, if directory, oh, look at that. I'm just going to complete the whole line. Boom. You got to love Visual Studio, right? That was amazing. It just knew what I was going to write. I just wrote if and open parenthesis, and it knew what I was going to do. People get the preview version of Visual Studio, then you get sort of these new features before anyone else. Okay. If directory exists, then we're going to read all the files. How do we do that? Here. Then we're just going to say not template files, but list, add range, add everything in template tier. Folder. Files, all directories, yeah. And then we just go all the way up. So that's how we do it. So now, so this one takes the list. Now list should be, what is this one? There is no argument given, then corresponds to the, oh, here we go. So instead of this, we're going to look in lists. We're going to look in lists. We're going to look in lists. All right. So that means that every time you hit F2, Shift F2 to create a new file, we're going to traverse up the hierarchy all the way up to the root of the directory. I hope my logic was right for this one. I should probably set a breakpoint here so this doesn't spin forever. It should either I need to say whether the current directory is different from its root or if its parent is different from null or something like that. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Maybe you can answer Jan's question. Why don't you do some test-driven development with unit tests? Check all your sweet algorithms there, Mads.
You know, that is something I should have done. I think retroactively adding that now, I think would be boring to watch. It would definitely be boring for me to write. But that's exactly what I should have done when I did this originally. The thing was that originally I don't feel like we needed a unit test for this, right? It's such a simple thing to add a file. Like unit test is nothing really needed here. And now I'm gonna be like, there's gonna be a ton of people here that tells me that I'm wrong. That's okay. That's okay. I don't write code for a living, so I don't have to unit test my stuff. So let's do a templates. Let's create a file .cs.txt, right? So let's see here. Nothing happened. It didn't even, what's going on? Did something very strange happen? I should be able to say template.
You had a unit test. You could have.
Just nothing happens. What? And no error message? No, nothing? Really? Okay. So let's do a file. foo.cs. Okay. That's weird, I guess you could say. I didn't change anything up here. So it must have failed somewhere and, a try catch block swallowed it or something. Oh, I should have said I'm just going to do a clean and then we do a rebuild. I use the tweaks extension. So when I clean, it actually completely deletes the bin directory. So when I do a build after a clean, it's like takes a little longer than normal.
There you go. While we wait, Max here was asking about Intellicode, asking, does Visual Studio Preview have Intellicode? I guess maybe there's new features. All of them have Intellicode.
Right.
But there's new features, right?
Yeah, and when it comes to Intellicode, it's kind of interesting. So if you go up to Tools Options and search for Intellicode, here, you can see there's a bunch of additional things you can enable, and they have like a whole section for, let's see here, advanced intelligence completion. Some internal stuff you won't see those. Preview features, here it is. Preview features. You can like enable different things on the preview. So go ahead and check that out. And if you have the preview builds of Visual Studio, that's what I've got here. Then you probably have more options. So, but I don't have like up here in the corner. Normally it says preview, but I delete that because I record videos and stuff, and I don't want people to say, "Oh, this is only in preview." It creates like some questions about like, "Oh, is this available in preview only or not?" So I remove that badge up here.
How do you remove the badge?
I actually wrote a gist on how to do it.
Oh, geez. Oh, geez, Louise.
I can show you.
I was hoping there was like a right click.
No, it's like it's completely archaic.
I'm gonna remove your screen just in case there's like private.
No.
I call them GIFs.
What do you call them?
GIFs.
Gist?
GIFs.
Like
it's wrong. It's wrong. It's like a GIF.
Let's get it back.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. We both clicked it. Remove badge in VS.
Oh, that's fancy.
Yeah, so gist.github.com/Kristensen.
Very short. And there's you gotta remember 43EA4263331A32.
Right.
8.
So I do it so often that I wrote a PowerShell script for it.
Oh, cool.
But basically what it does is it finds something called Microsoft.something preview badge.package.dev file under the Visual Studio install directory, and just nuke it. Just delete that file, and then you just have to run dev-nvexi/update configuration. And then now that badge is gone. Yep. So there's no magic. There's no magic. Everything is a package, right? Everything is a package. Everything is an extension, even within Visual Studio. So, okay, what are we going to do? We were going to figure out why it didn't act the way we thought it was going to act. Okay. That's probably a null reference somewhere. Foo.cs. All right, okay. Let's see, the constructor should work. We didn't change anything there, except, oh, here we go. Oh. No, it didn't work. It failed on this particular what is going on here, everybody?
Did you like put something in there that's like not allowed?
I guess, but now I don't think it'll call that initial second. I won't call it again. So I'll have to reattach. Yeah, so something here is wrong. But I feel like I didn't change anything here, did I? Oh, I did. I said VS plus.
Yeah, someone put in here, what was it? Who was it? Max says, are you using the constant for the template directory?
Yeah.
Is that the problem?
I wonder if .templates is like a known. I'm not doing it here.
.templates, yeah.
That shouldn't be the thing that failed. Oh, I don't check for whether this file exists or not. So now it will work. So that's silly. So of course we say, whoop, we don't say that. If, hey, let's see if we can figure it out. If I say, what I want to do now is say if directory exists and then pass in user profile. That's what I want to write. So let's see if Visual Studio knows that that's what's going on. If that was really close. It was directory. Oh. Okay, so that now works. Everyone's happy. Should probably have done this. This is prettier. Means that I don't need this. And this could just use a good. If anyone in the watching this wants to refactor, then I definitely accept pull requests. I'm not sure I'm going to be the one refactoring this one. Hey, John is here. Hey, John. Oh my God, John, you did a short URL to how to remove that badge. Do you think people care about this? Like, is that something people want to be able to remove that badge? I guess John wants it.
I was hoping you could like right click and say hide badge.
No,
you know what I mean?
That you can. So
no, but I mean in VS. Like I'm in VS, right?
Oh, well,
you see, like right now, like you have EXP, you're experimental. Like I would want to right click and then boom.
So what you want to do is in that gist, it says like how to right click a PS1 file and add run as administrator, because you have to have administrator right to do this. But on PowerShell files, you don't get an option to right click and say run as administrator. You have to like add that to the Windows registry, which I show how to do in that gist or gist. So I just go in here and find my PS1 file and say run as administrator, and that's it. Visual Studio has to be closed when in order for it to run its /update configuration command. So we can't do it from, well, we can do it from within VS if you can just close down VS first and then a shell out. But then you have to elevate. You have to elevate because you have to be an admin. Do people want to VS 2022 feature to hide the badge? Matt's signature edition has a nice ring to it. You can do that. I'll show you how to do that afterwards. You can write anything you want in that badge. Kind of cool. Okay, foo.ts. Here we go. No, I was going to create a template, right? So template. So let's do a template. So .templates /.cs.txt. What now? Template map. This still failed? Why is it? What's going on? And why didn't it hit my breakpoint? This is unacceptable. This is supposed to just work. .vs.templates. That's what we got here. .vs.templates. Yeah. No, that was weird. Okay, folder get the user profile. That's template directory.
Jan would like to know if those unit tests would still be a waste of time at this point.
Haha, Jan.
I think MZG. I think those X's when Mads debugs Visual Studio because he's debugging Visual Studio. It's kind of where like the actual live reload. It's not really the same. It's not really useful in that context. Like when you get that pop up on that dialog box, there's like XAML binding errors or whatever.
Yeah, that's useful. You can still do that. Like hot reload and everything works for Visual Studio extensions.
Yeah.
That's kind of cool, right? But okay. Let's see here. If this exists, default this should work. Is this? Yeah, there's nothing in there. Get the files. Okay, and now get the files that we have here. Does that folder exist? Yeah. Okay. So now we have our list, and now we add our custom stuff to list there. What is this? Oh, it already had one of those? 14. Okay. Now current is, okay, I'm just gonna F5 this to see if, because this needs to break out of the loop here. Users. Okay, so current is now C drive. So, and the root here is also C. So let's see here if this works. The current is not different from this. This just loops forever. Yeah. Okay. So.
Oh, you just do current does not equal null.
Yeah.
I'm assuming because the current and the current.root are different objects as comparing the object, not the.
Yeah.
That's a problem.
That is a problem. So did I actually then end up having the file? This was called console app 1, I think, wasn't it? Console app 1 dot templates, which is empty. So let's just fill in something. We do power JSON. And then we want to modify it. We're going to call this for Jan. Hey, Jan, why don't you write an extension that makes it easy to unit test existing extensions? Huh? Okay. Where's our dot templates file? It might be, okay, dot template dot bower, right? And our dot bower file has it says Jan. Okay, so now if I am here and I create a bower file, bower.json, it goes in here. So far, so good. And then I want to F5 down here. Okay. Oh, yeah, we can do this. Directory, we should be good. So now let's just not do that. And let's move to here. Oh. All right. So replace tokens, template, do this, do that. I'm just going to F5. It's just going to work. What? Nothing happened? You're still considering what to do? What? What is that? This is the direct. Maybe we never actually tested if this would work. So let's do this again. Bower.json. Okay, so the dynamic list. Oh, the dynamic list has 14 files. That's right. Okay. And now this should have 15, right? Right. Oh, and it needs to move that, insert that at the top. Okay, so let's do that afterwards. Okay, first, do we have a template file? Yep. And then we say a template file equals this. Oh, .json. So this one needs, if it's a direct file name, then this one needs to have a safe name or what? Name plus default. No. Wasn't there a safe name? Here, safe name. So save name plus or name. I should just be able to say name. Because it is a direct match. Okay. So let me show you how to write anything you want. And I'm just going to do developer command prompt or PowerShell. Oh, I accidentally did a web search here. Developer here. Developer PowerShell. So let's see here. So if you want to start Visual Studio, but you want to write whatever you want in that batch, we can do it like this. So dev end like this, right? That's how we start. You don't have exe, but and then we can just say root suffix. Do I need equals or just a space? Let's do equals. I'm not sure. And so let's do. Well, there was a very long suggestion here to call it. Where was it? Okay, that that's too long. So I'll just do commune. See, I don't know. Can we do spaces? Professional. Enterprise. I don't know if I can do spaces. Let's try it. So I just hit enter and it starts Visual Studio up. No, that wasn't right. So it needs maybe not an equals. Maybe just like this. I never get that right. Let's see. Yeah, this works. So now it needs to start up like it was a fresh install of Visual Studio because we're actually creating a new hive in the registry. So this one doesn't have any extensions installed. This is how you can you can have different. It's basically a different profile. So you can have the same install of Visual Studio, but you can have different profiles. They each have their own settings. That each have their own extensions installed and so on. And that's called a root suffix. It's a very little known feature. The following files were not specified. Okay, so it didn't take the space. Well, what if we do it like this? Can we abuse this somehow? Wouldn't that be good? Just do it again. And while that loads, we can test our extension here. Okay, so here's our extension, and we have our .templates file. Come on. Yeah, okay. So, the power JSON. Imports, what's that? Yeah, okay, my machine is like extremely busy right now, opening Visual Studio instances and whatnot. So yeah, so that's that community edition that we're loading here. So let's take a little moment. So we're going to do power.json. Community Professional Enterprise Edition. Okay. So here's an interesting thing. Notice it just has like 4 letters and then it does ... So there is a limit. You can probably do like up to like 10 letters before it starts truncating and do ... But you know, this was a useless trivia number 1 of the day. You're welcome. Okay. Come on. I can't believe it. Why is nothing happening? It's like something is not returned, or it's highly bizarre. Power.json. Let's just do this again. So our template file now is power.json. That's good. Oh, right file async. Right, this file, yeah, that's the one. And we say could not find file power.json in the templates folder. But it's there.
Power.json.txt. Dun dun dun.
You're right.
I know I'm right.
Okay. I'm doing a lot of F5ing today. You know, usually, James, when we do this, I do a lot of control F5ing, which is much faster. But it's like I've just had the need to attach the debugger all the time today. course, that slows things down.
What's the font that you're using? Was it Cascadia codes or is it Fira codes or Fire? Which one is it?
This is
MZG
Cascadia.
was asking. That's Cascadia.
Cascadia, is that right?
Is that built in?
It's built
You
into
import
VS 2022. Cascadia code.
Cascadia code.
But I just have it installed on my 2019.
Ah,
I suggest everyone does the same because you get these nice ligatures. You get it's just very pleasant to look at, I find. Because we can nuke this one. Yeah. So anyway, root suffix. I wrote a blog post on this on the Visual Studio blog maybe last year. It's kind of a cool way to differentiate different Visual Studios. So you can have a Visual Studio for web development, a Visual Studio for extension development, and a Visual Studio for C++ development with different settings, with different extensions installed and so on. But no one knows that. Did you know that, James?
I don't know anything, so.
Oh. Jan uses Fira code, but does not like Cascadia code. Well, isn't it wonderful that we can customize it?
I was going to say, what do I need to install? The OTF, CTFs, or WOFF2s?
TTF. So if you go to, it's on GitHub. The Cascadia code is on GitHub, and on the README it tells you if you're on Windows, you should. Here's how to do it. So there's instructions on how to do it.
You know, I don't read instructions. Oh my goodness.
What is the saying? RTFM. Is that what it is?
Wiki needs to be. I need help installing Cascadia codes. I do need help. How do they know? TTF. We recommend this for all versions.
Look at this. It now works. Can you believe it?
You did it.
I did it. So now all we need to do is to make sure that the closest files are there first. What is this import? Oh, SDK prop stuff. Oh, this is because for some reason I thought this was a .NET framework, but no. Okay. Anyway, so that's good. Good. So now we just go down here because we can clean that up, and then we can say instead of add range, we need to add range like early, like insert at look at like 0, right? List. Can we say insert range? Oh, get out of here. Insert range 0. Whoop. So now you're probably thinking, well, what if it finds more as it traverses all the way up the folder hierarchy? Then the higher up you go, they still get in too early. So that is true. So what we need to do is that we need to create a new list. So we need to say var dyna list, like dynamic list. The new list, new list of strings. And in here, we need to say dyna list. We need to go back to add range. We add that, dyna list, and then afterwards we go in and say list add range, no, list insert range, dyna list. So dyna list, by the way, is a great name. You feel free to use that in your own code. And in general, if you have any issues ever naming anything, just let me know, and I'll be happy to provide you with some suggestions. A little extra service here we do on Fridays. Dyna list. Is this right? So now we add range. So whatever I found first is on the top. And then we inject that. Yeah, this is absolutely correct. This time I'm going to control F5 because I do not need to hit any breakpoints here because it's just going to work. Fact. Naming as a service. Yes. Wouldn't that be good? Okay, let's see here. So what am I going to do now? I'm going to do power.json again, but this time it doesn't say my package. It says Jan because it grabbed it from the right place. So here, my package, but our template here, our local says Jan. So that's what we need. So let's go in and nuke this power.json. Then we go in here to power.json. Boom. That's just beautiful. It brings a tear to my eye. That's just, oh, wow. Okay, so let's do something. Let's create, so we had a template directory here at the root of our project. Let's put one into the ABC folder here. So now we got power.json in here. This one we change up. This one, we do surely dev like this. So surely dev, if you can't tell, is one of the Twitch users right now following this episode here. So let's go in here. Now we do power.json inside this folder. That means that we should take the surely dev. So power.json. And boom. Seriously. This is a thing of beauty. What do you think, James?
What if you do like a C# file? So let's create a new. Where's your cs.txt?
Yeah.
We got to do, because that's the only one that one has. That one has yeah, it doesn't have the bower. It starts with a dot. So we just need to validate.
So we just need to validate this one. So this one.
Hello, Aiden. James Q.
Jenny Skew. What's it, 7?
7.
Okay, and then we have an interface. Oh, and we do Aiden and Shaw. Am I spelling right? I think so. I'm just putting people on the spot here, and I'm okay with that. You're welcome. Okay, so foo.cs should give us what? Should give us Jenny Skew. Boom.
Oh. Yep.
Yeah. And ifoo, now that's the interface version of this, should give us Aiden, right?
Oh.
Okay.
So close.
It's because we didn't adjust. See? We didn't adjust for specific. Here. Okay. Okay. So let's adjust for specific. Back here, save all this, and then exit. Okay, so now we're gonna adjust for specific. The safe name here, then temple. And what do I use? Template. I use template in here. No. What is this used for?
Never.
What the hell? So this just never worked. All right. So that means that this should be template in here, right? Make sure no. Name. So name should now be the one that's adjusted. And no, hang on. Of course, it can never be up here. Never be up here. It can only be the one where we specify on the file extension match here. So on the file extension, but the extension has to be the one that is. So this has to be template, right? TMPL. Adjust for specific. This one takes the safe name. And here, takes the safe name. And then it figures out whether or not it starts with an I and then a capital letter. And if it does, it returns different extension. Okay. This may work, you know.
Well, before you were using name there, but then this is gonna apply it to safe name.
Yeah. Yeah. See,
It's like you need to do a if temple does not equal name, use temple.
who wrote this spaghetti code to begin with?
It's terrible.
Seriously.
Code. We only had unit tests.
If we had unit tests, you know what we could have done, James? We could have just said TDD'd our way out of this problem.
That's right. We could have.
Yeah.
File new test, return true, pass.
Yeah, new mock dot stub
Dot return true. Always.
I don't know if it's that clear to people that I don't write a lot of unit tests.
It's not your fault.
Thank you, James. I appreciate that.
That just means you don't write real production code.
One would think. Don't worry, everybody. I don't commit any code to Visual Studio's code base.
Okay. I can confirm there's lots of unit tests for Visual Studio.
Okay, so now we do ibar.cs. Did I put a breakpoint? Just so that we know what's going on. Okay, so temple now is .cs interface.
Uh-huh.
So this is now going to work, right? Because we have .cs interface.txt. So now,
Oh, there you go.
Boom.
Now, okay, now try your bower.json again.
Okay, and what should that say? That should say Shirley Dev. Okay.
Yeah.
So I need to nuke this old bower. Well, actually, why don't we up the ante here a little bit? Why don't I create a subfolder?
Oh my gosh.
Like subfolder. And then we put bower.json in that subfolder.
Okay.
And,
boom. It works.
It works. Can you believe it? Because bower is Shirley Dev. So let's do Shirley Dev 2. And so now I'm going to go into the old one, do F2 again, and now I'm going to create a new subfolder. So this is a sub. What's it?
Sub 2.
Sub 2. Bower.json. Hit the breakpoint, and we should get Shirley Dev 2. No, yeah. And we do.
Okay, now. Normal CS file.
In sub 2?
Yeah.
Okay. I kind of feel like I should just nuke these.
See what happens.
Okay, normal CS file. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
All right, last one. Ready?
Yeah.
I'm building your unit test here.
Yes.
All right. It should be dot. Do dot cs dot txt.
Oh, that might just explode. I feel like this creates like a time-space paradox.
Because look, you want to create a new.
Yeah.
Oh, that worked.
Yeah, that's good. That's what it should do. There is no template for this. If there was but we can create a template for it.
A template for the template?
Yeah. So if we go in here and say .txt, right? Then now,
you gotta put something in it.
Let me just pick that one. So I should be able to say .cs.txt, and now it's. Oh yeah, you're right. Sorry. What do we do here? We just do Yo.
Exactly.
Do you remember the app called Yo that came out like back when Windows Phone was a thing?
No, I don't.
All you could do, it was like a messaging app. All you could do was, and you had friends on Facebook, whatever, and you could just, if you tapped on someone's name, they just got a notification saying Yo. It was a pretty good app.
We could do that.
Yeah. It was actually very popular. It got some viral. What are we doing? We're doing .cs.txt.
Exactly. Yeah.
Boom.
There you go. Perfect.
So that's kind of cool, right? So now you can extend this extension by adding those files. And so we need to do. There needs to be documentation on this. Should we just ship it?
Always be shipping, I say. Well, first, write your unit tests.
Come on now.
There should be like a right. Is there a right click create unit test for like one of your functions?
No.
Oh,
Is that a thing?
I think so, right?
But I don't have a unit test project.
No, I mean,
IntelliTest.
what's an IntelliTest test? What is that?
I feel like I need to commit this before I do something.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely do that.
And also, let's figure out what is the what was the issue that number 33, issue 33. Okay, so what did we do? We added custom template support fixes issue 33.
Ooh, can I do like okay, so let's say I'm creating an app and I want to have like a viewModel.cs. So let's say I add a folder, but I want it to end in viewModel.cs. So let's say I do like people viewModel.cs. Can you do this with this extension where I'd have like a default view model that like generates all my stuff for me? Or is it only the extension? Like, cause you know, Bower.json, but what if it was like Bower was the keyword at the end of it? You know what I'm saying? It's like whenever, so I go create an app. All right. Hold on.
No, like Angular, where you need a component.css, component.html, and component.js.
Yeah. So like, for example, story time. So I create an app. Okay. I created, I create an app, right? And I have, there's three things. Like there's a model, a view model, and a view. So like, ideally I have like home page.xaml, and then I have a home view model.cs. And the first thing I do is I go into it and I say, okay, well, inherit from base view model, bring in these namespaces, et cetera, et cetera. I would love to be able to say, right click, add file, home view model.cs, people view model.cs, whatever view model.cs. And then it fills in all this stuff, right? So like my extension is really view model.cs. Does that do this? Can we make it do this? Question mark, exclamation point.
I will say,
because right now what I would have to do is I'd have to create my own like actual template and say add a new view model, and then it does all the stuff, right?
Yeah. So right now, here's the limits today. It's basically that you go in here and you say, view model.saml, and then you do comma view model.saml or vp.saml.camel.cs or xs. This is like, look at this. I'm trying to write something and I just fail miserably. So you can comma separate your files today, right? So this will create. So if you had a .saml file, it would create that, and next to it, it would create, saml.cs and so on. That's where we are today.
But I also want a vm.cs.
Yeah. So what we could do is that we could say if there is a folder, so in the .templates directory, what if we matched on folder names? So if there's a subfolder in there called, viewModel.cs or .viewModel or whatever, then it matches on that, and it takes whatever files are inside and adds those three files.
Yeah.
Like these three files.
Like if if the name contains the folder name, use that CS folder. Like I have a folder in my templates and it's view model.
Yeah. If it ends with a folder name or something like that.
Yeah.
So if it's foo view model. Oh, there's a view model.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. .cs.
Yeah, .cs.
Right. Yeah. That is totally within the scope of this for sure. And people have been asking for it for like Angular and React components, where you have like at least 3 files per component, and they all have the same name but a different file extension.
Yeah.
So that would lend itself very well to this. I think we need to clean up the code base a little bit first.
Maybe write some unit tests.
Let's not get overboard. Who's gonna maintain those unit tests?
Yeah. See, Max has what you see. That's what I'm going for. I agree. Star viewModel.cs. I like the. Yeah, I think it'd be cool to use the folder name because it'd be very intuitive, right? You could have like page, view model, model, and then people model.cs, and it just knows how to do it instead of having model.cs.txt. I mean, you could do that as well. You could do or view model.cs.txt. That's also possible. But either way. JohnGalloway.cs. John wants foo/heart/rocket.cs.
Actually, that's a good point. Let's figure out if we can we do folders that are emojis? I'm just going to zoom in here.
Oh, I don't know if folders are allowed. We know file names are.
I forgot. I created like add folder. I created that to here. Shift Alt F. Shift Alt F. Let's do that. I'm going to try Shift Alt F. Okay, so Shift Alt F. I'm going to do emoji. Pizza. Pizza burger. Pizza burger.
Pizza.
Does that really work though?
Oh, no.
Why is that though? Because I can do file, right? I can do pizza file.
It's a Windows thing. If you go into Windows, I don't think you can create a folder with an emoji.
That's what you think?
Yeah. Well, because under the hood, actually, that seems to be mad at you.
See, this works fine. So I can't do public class burger. Why not?
Oh, nope, not allowed.
What if I just do it like this?
No, because under the hood, it's a ASCII character, or it's a Unicode. It's a bunch of things.
Yeah, but still. Okay, so let's do burger folder.
Oh,
So Windows is fine with it, but I think there's a difference between burger and then like just
pizza,
funky character. No, but I'm pretty sure I've done a heart. I think heart was like.
I think heart works.
Heart works because it's like from a different era, maybe.
Nope.
But heart works here.
Maybe we never opened the file.
Look at this.
Oh.
So
can you put a heart in the namespace? No, you can't. The computer says no.
Is that because it can have the same namespace?
No. It doesn't like it.
No.
Huh.
Okay, but I'm now messing up with my extension here.
Anyways.
Why does it say I have a file change here? I don't. Oh, pull completed with.
Uh-oh.
What happened? Both modified. What did I modify? Oh no. So how do I? What did I change? Local. I added a bunch of stuff. What's going on? I have a hard time figuring out what is different here. I should probably just take the remote one.
Yeah, because you didn't change anything at the top. Yeah, there you go.
Is that the right thing to do? I'll just take the incoming. Oh, yeah.
All of the incoming?
I don't know. I think so.
Yeah. Did you change? Well, I don't know. Don't you want your changes that you just made, though?
But I didn't make any changes to the add any file thing, did I? What if I just undo this? Git undo. What?
No, you got to go to Git changes.
Yeah, but not to undo. It's because there's like some sort of conflict. Why can't I undo? Anyway. Oh yeah, I did fix this up. No, I'm just going to take the incoming. I think that's where we are. Okay, so and then it staged it. Okay, so then I can say, what should I say? Just gonna. Now we push the 2. So what just happened?
I don't know. I think you broke it.
I think so too. I can't believe there was an incoming thing I didn't see because I have an extension that's supposed to always keep me up to date. Is that not enabled for some reason? So I'm supposed to have a Git Pull Extension. Let's see here. Pull on solution open equals true. And it's supposed to do that. Okay. And what's changed here? Nothing. It was because we added and removed the heart folder. I'm just going to run this again just to be clear here that it works. Do we have any questions? Can the name contain a Unicode emoji? Yes. The file name can. No problem. And the folder can take some of those emoji count, but the class name cannot.
Yeah, I think it's whatever the underlying, I don't know, it's whatever the underlying actual Unicode under the hood must start with, like Burger must start with something that's not allowed in Visual Studio, but obviously Windows is cool with it. But maybe it's a back compat thing too. Who knows?
Yeah, it's probably up to the compiler too, right? So C#, the Rosling compiler might say, hey, we don't accept all like character encodings or whatever. But in C++, that compiler might say, yeah, it's fine. I can do whatever.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm just going to verify that it still works since I kind of just blindly merged. And this is how you know that I don't make money off of coding for a living here. You know, I'm just blindly accepting things. What are we doing? We're doing an I James .cs. And that gives us
There you go.
an interface. Yeah,
that works.
So that's beautiful. Notice how it actually respects the namespace from the folder structure. Isn't that cool? Okay. Did we miss any questions?
I think, well, someone was asking about the Windows emoji keyboard. I use Windows dot. Don't you use Windows space or something?
I use Windows semicolon.
Semicolon or dot. On Mac, it's like control. It's like 3 button presses. There's too many button presses on Mac, but there is a way to do it on Mac too.
Yeah.
If you're over in that world.
I tweeted that you could use emojis and file names in Visual Studio like last year at some point, and it got a lot of comments and retweets.
Yeah, we tested it. Remember?
Yeah, right. It was during during one of these episodes.
Yeah.
People liked that, or they thought it was weird. They reacted to it, if nothing else.
Yeah, I mean, if you're about to name a file like rocket.cs, you could just put a rocket. It makes so much more sense.
Yeah,
I think it. Because it doesn't, obviously you can't use rocket for the class name, but that would be really cool because you should be able to type rocket and you should just see the emoji in the drop down or rocket. Like it should alias, right? That's what it should do. Is if you use rocket for the class name under the hood, it should actually just change it to rocket.
I agree, but I wonder. I'm just gonna. Where is that thing? I'm wondering if can I use emoji for
void.
Yeah.
Foo.
Void sounds like a name for a person, right? Void Jones. So can I say var and then you said rocket? I feel like rocket is one of the old ones, right?
Rocket. Yeah, that's definitely an older one. Classic emoji.
Classic.
Var rocket equals. What would it equal? Yeah, I guess. Oh yeah, because that should work. No.
Unexpected. Yeah. See, Visual Studio's like, what's going on?
Now you can make it the string and it'll show up. That's for sure.
But yeah, I can't even. I can't even do that. I would just like to see what it would be like if I showed IntelliSense for this, right?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. Yeah, that'd be cool, right?
Yeah. Okay. Well,
So is that, no, I don't know. Well, because it's the name of the variable, so like quotes wouldn't work around it.
Yeah, right.
Like if you had you like maybe if you had a custom MS build that would like swap it in place. I don't know.
Well, you can do other things, right? So there's others. So if we do instead of emojis like that, if you're like old school and you just go to the character map and you get like a different kind of Unicode character, like you can do those. Like all these you can totally do, right? So we can take
what about a wingding?
Wingdings, yeah, or like check marks or whatnot. There's all these. So here's an omega. Is that omega? Whatever. Not quite. Oh, this one. They're a little different, but this should work, right? So you should be able to take like any of these characters. What is this? Okay.
End of
yeah. It's like some of these look cool. Wow, look at this one. I want that one.
That one's undefined. That's what it says. So that should work. No.
What is that about?
Oh.
Unexpected character.
Huh. Oh, no.
It's also undefined. Okay, so there's a range. So it has to be higher up in the Unicode list here, or ASCII. No, not just ASCII, right?
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know. Like, can you make it like? Can you even make a var like a ampersand? Like that doesn't work, or but that doesn't, that doesn't work because they're like keywords or something. Does that work? No.
No, ampersand, like if you go in here and do like foo.html, it's actually kind of cool because here you can do, if you say ampersand, you actually get,
yeah,
and you can do like the copyright.
Mm-hmm.
So I feel like copyright, Unicode 169. So that's a low Unicode number, right? So 169 for copyright. So is this here?
There it is.
So this one I should be able to do. Oh,
cool. There goes your computer.
I have a sign out button on my keyboard. Like, who thought that was a good idea to put there? Oh, you can't do that either.
Oh, your screen's not sharing anymore.
Yeah.
I don't know. We got to go ask the Visual Studio team.
If only there was someone here that worked on the Visual Studio team. Okay.
It says the unexpected character.
This is not a Visual Studio thing. This is a C# thing. This is a .NET compiler thing. Roslyn. Right. They decided that you can't have Visual Studio don't care. Visual Studio, the IDE itself knows nothing about C#.
Oh, that's true.
The C# tooling that's in Visual Studio, which is just an extension, like any other extension we would write. Maybe not exactly like we would write. They probably have unit tests too, I assume. Then, it's so that logic is with them. James, have you noticed that we have a lot more viewers now that we just like goof around?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what people like.
Let's
talk about emojis.
That makes, I don't know. Should that make me feel bad? Like, we would like you to write some cool extensions, everybody.
This is fun with Visual Studio.
No. Okay. So everything is committed. Oh, not there.
Yeah, or did you get a raid? You might have got a raid. I don't know. It doesn't show us if we got a raid. So someone's got to tell us.
If we got what?
Just like someone else raided us from Twitch.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah, I don't think it shows us. Well, John says it did. See, he put a raid Twitch emote.
Okay. I had no idea that you could.
No, because it doesn't show up as a comment. That's the thing. It just shows up in Twitch, but we're not in Twitch. 2 raids.
Is it like a star rating?
It's like, so we got Gregor raided us, and with 24, 2 raids. 2 raids. I got 2.
Raid like that. What does it mean?
Like a raid. Oh, so what happens? Okay, so let's say like right now, let's say we end our stream. Okay, hold on. Hold the phone. Okay, so let's say this is how Twitch works for you, Dance. So at the end of the stream, let's say you're ending your stream. Like the one cool part about Twitch, what they do is they give you the ability to send everybody that's currently watching your Twitch stream to another channel. So let's say that Jeff Fritz was streaming right now. We could, right when we're ending, wherever like end credits, I could do /raid C# Fritz, and he would send all 84 people to his stream. And then it would say Visual Studios rating C# Fritz with 84 people. And then we would just be tuning in. So it's a way of like sending people. It's a Twitch thing.
So does that mean that any Twitch user, so we're streaming on YouTube and on Twitch at the same time here. So anyone on Twitch, they can take all the viewers that are currently on Twitch and just move them to a different stream.
Well, in their channel that's watching them. Yeah, like.
Oh, so we can do it. We can move all our viewers to a different show.
We can move all of our viewers, or like if C# Fritz, if Jeff Fritz was ending his stream, or like we're saying here, like Clubya was finishing their stream, they send all other people over here.
Yes, got it.
Yes,
okay.
Yeah.
All right. So it's like a redirection or something like that.
It is, yeah. Pretty
or forwarding, or
it's like community. It's like community.
Yeah.
So like, let's use on Twitch right now. So nobody. So like, oh, code photo. I don't know. People are. We could send everybody to somewhere. It takes a lot.
Be careful. Be careful.
I know. And Visual Studios doing something. Usually, if Microsoft Developer is streaming, then I can go do that. But
yeah, right.
That's legit. Anyways.
But we don't have any. Well, this is the only stream we have right now, isn't it, on Twitch that we know of?
Yeah.
Cool. So I forgot to mention something, and I think we should, as a community, which we are, everybody currently watching. I think there's been a thing that we've kind of forgotten about. It's one of the most important things when it comes to writing Visual Studio extensions, and it's documentation. We all know it's not very good, right? And it's not very prescriptive. Like, here's how to do this, here's how to do that. It doesn't really do that. So I'm thinking that we should start doing documentation as part of this new V6 community GitHub organization. So I already started doing some stuff on, let's share my screen here. I did some stuff on here. So V6 community under Toolkit. If you go under Toolkit on the README, there's something here called API documentation. And it basically shows API documentation, even with examples and everything. Fantastic, right? But check this out. It has articles. And they're not filled in at all. They're just kind of the default stuff produced by DocFX. And I'm like, should we have documentation in here? Should we have a repo specifically for like holding markdown files that's dedicated for like how to write extensions, how to use the toolkit, how to use the extensions that we are building for extenders, all that sort of stuff? I would love to have a discussion about this in somewhere starting here, moving into the toolkit repo. Let's do that. Let's go in. Come on, let's go back. Where are we? There. So in here under discussion, let's see if we can start something about like, what do we do with documentation? How do we guide people to do the right thing? And I think that once we have documentation, or once we start that process, we're going to soon find out where some of the issues are that we can start solving for in the toolkits and in our extensions and in our templates and all this sort of stuff. And so I think it's kind of a function that will improve our tooling, even though it's not tooling on its own, right? So let's get that ball started rolling. But please think about what would be good things to do when it comes to documentation. I've never really done documentation before. So I don't know what's the best approach, what used to work for some people, what doesn't work, all that sort of stuff. Any ideas, James? Any input? You write documentation, I feel like, or you did.
I still do. I write lots of. Well, I read a lot of docs on the Microsoft Docs site. But
but that's an established doc site, like docs.microsoft.com/Xamarin or whatever. Was that what you did? Something like that?
That's correct. Yeah. It's a good question. I was talking to my wife about documentation for their team, and we were talking about like the auto website generators from like the XML comments. It's the question: what are you doing? Right? Is it API documentation or conceptual documentation? Those are two different things, right?
I think we need both. So I generate the API documentation. That has to be generated, and so I'm doing that. I'm talking about the conceptual, like, okay, and it could be in a wiki.
Yeah, I think a wiki is fine.
It could be wiki. It could be its own markdown site. It could be whatever. But I think like, so how do you add a command? Okay, well, you should know that, right? We should be able to very, very easily write that documentation. And if it's not easy, then we need to improve our tooling or APIs, right?
We have like when we work on like the Xamarin Community Toolkit or Xamarin Essentials, like one of the checkboxes to finish a PR is that you wrote and did a PR to the conceptual docs or updated the conceptual docs. So you gotta start at the beginning, because if you start doing tons of stuff and then write the docs later, you're never going to write the docs. It's going to take so much time, but you want it to be part of the process, like you're saying. So literally having a checkbox, which is like, it's up to date, it follows those best practices. And then also when you submit your PR, there's docs associated with it, and then boom, you're good to go. Now, you can make those docs on a different GitHub repo, or you can make it on the wiki, because the wiki is actually just a GitHub repo, right? But
yeah, that's the thing about it is like docs, sometimes they span multiple different things, right? So they could be, here's how the API works in the toolkit, right? So here's how to add a command, but you also have to write some stuff in the VSCT file, the XML file. And for that, you need an extension. And if you add this NuGet package that we also have, then more stuff lights up. And so that documentation doesn't naturally just live in one repo, right? It spans multiple. So that's why, okay, so maybe we should have a specific docs repo.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
And then the question is, okay, are we using Jekyll or something like that, static site generator, so we can write Markdown? Or are we using a wiki only? Or are we doing, I don't know, something else?
I think Markdown's fine at that point. Maybe. I don't know. You want to have some, I don't know. I'm all about, for conceptual documentation, I'm about, here's what the API is. Here's why here's what it does. Here's how you use it. Like, here's, I'm all about not minimal docs, not verbose docs, but right in the when you set your logging level in Visual Studio and you're like, okay, there's going to be not minimal, not verbose, but kind of like general. That's what I would do. Looks like Learn TV kicked us off.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's what I would say, like somewhere in the middle.
So
you don't want your docs to be too much, because then no one's going to write the docs.
So yeah, so Learn TV, we actually stream to 3 different places. We stream to YouTube, Twitch, and Learn TV. Learn TV is Microsoft. Yeah, the only thing I have about wikis is that if you want to upload an image, then now you have to have a folder somewhere that you upload it to, and that's kind of now separate from the wiki. So I think if we just have a library of Markdown files and a folder called images or media or something like that, then
I think GitHub might have fixed that. I think that you can now just drag and drop a photo into a Markdown file direct, and it uploads it directly into the thing. Kind of like when you
where, or like an inline, like a base 64 encoded image.
No, it just puts it somewhere, man. It just goes.
Oh, okay. It just exists somewhere.
It just exists, yeah.
Okay.
Well, and that's the problem. Is like, do you want it to just exist somewhere, or do you want the image to be in the thing, right? So like, go to a wiki. Do you have a wiki somewhere? Yeah, right there. There's a wiki. Go to the wiki.
Wiki.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's not the wiki.
That's not the wiki.
That's the wiki. Wait, where's the wiki?
But nothing happens.
Oh my gosh, what's going on?
It's because it's not there or something like that. I have to be logged in. What's going on?
Oh, you're not logged in. What?
Well, I can log in.
Oh, okay.
I just have to use my other browser here.
Okay.
Where I'm logged in. Okay, so now if I go to wiki.
Okay, create a page.
Okay.
Oh, because there wasn't a page. Okay, now do you have an image? Drag and drop an image. Oh, yeah, paste an image. Does that work?
And paste.
Does that exist?
Okay, what if I'm just going to copy this and then paste it? No. Okay, I'm going to drag and drop. What is this? Okay, I have an image somewhere. Let's see if I can find an image.
You could have saved it somewhere into your.
Yeah, well, I have here an image. I'm going to drag an image.
No, it didn't work. Okay, So it doesn't work in there. Now let's try
That doesn't
something
work.
else though. Okay, okay, so get out of here. Get out of here.
Get out of
Get
here.
out of here. Okay, now go back to your code.
All
right. And then let's do add file. We're not going to actually commit it, but let's add a file, create a new file. And let's do.
I'm pasting. Nothing happened.
Okay, now drag and drop.
Drag and drop.
What? This totally works.
But it maybe it's because it doesn't know that it's a markdown file.
Oh yeah, maybe.
Now we're doing this again.
What?
Paste.
I thought this worked.
Where's paste?
I thought I saw Nat tweet this out.
Well, maybe it's like for
existing files. No, I swear this worked.
Well, I have an existing file. It's called README.
Oh, okay. Let's add it to README. You should just be able to drag and drop an image in there. I swear. Oh, there we go. See, boom.
I just dragged and dropped. So that was like, it was in my clipboard. So now I'm going to drag in an existing file from disk. That works.
Boom. But see, it lives. Do you see that URL that I gave it?
No.
See, it's not in. It's somewhere.
Right.
It's in it.
So maybe this is me. I'm user number 1.25 million.
That's pretty good.
I don't know if that is do you think that's what it is?
No, I don't know. But so it's in there because it is. That's your Azure storage bucket.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. It better use Azure storage.
But see, that's kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
But go back to the wiki. All right, let's create the first page.
Okay.
All right, let's save the page.
Initial homepage. Yeah. That's a great message.
And then let's edit the page again. Now let's try to drag and drop it. I bet it doesn't. Oh, there's an image button there. There's an image button right there. Look at that. Whoa.
Image URL.
Yeah. So maybe it's just this needs to be updated at some point.
So, okay. So what we've learned so far, James, and this is valuable, is that the wiki we can't do. It's not easy for doing images. But if we have markdown files in a folder or whatever on a repo, then that's all fantastic.
Yeah.
So maybe we treat it like a wiki, but we create basically a repo. Should we just create the repo right now?
Yeah. Have you ever seen my in-app billing plugin?
Your billing?
Yeah. Go. I'll give you we have a private chat, right? Yeah. In-app. I'll show you what I do. Now, I don't know if mine is the best because I struggle with where I should put the documentation. Here's the link. I put it in the private chat.
So we call it docs or documentation, by the way?
I think docs.
GitHub template. What should we use? Markdown. Nothing. We don't need a git ignore, right?
None.
But we want a license. I'm like an Apache kind of guy myself, but MIT, which one? I don't care.
Or MIT. MIT all day.
Boom. Okay, and so you have a link. Okay, where does this go?
Yeah. Okay,
so right here.
See, I have a docs folder in there.
Yeah.
So click on that. And see, I just have a bunch of markdown. Now go back. Let's see, I have a table of contents there. We go back now, go down. Go down. See documentation? Click on that documentation button right there. Boom.
This one?
Yeah, that one. Yeah. See, that's what it generates.
Yeah. That's exactly, but that's, you know what? That is exactly what we do here on the toolkit. Check this out.
Yeah. So that's the question is like, do you just have the docs there or not?
It has docs and you have build the docs. It actually install like
docfx.
.fx and then it calls docfx, which produces all of it. And if we go to the API documentation, look at the URL. Right. It's a GitHub IO.
Yes, I'm just using the built-in one, but I ought to see it. As a learning.
Well, this is because it's the whole thing that's auto-generated, right? The one that's auto-generated by docfx. So I need to like produce all this API documentation, and then I can like upload it. Preferably, it would be on like a CI. Whenever there's a check-in, it recreates them. That's what I really want to do. I don't know how to do that. If anyone wants to see how we can create like a docfx and check that in to GitHub once it's done, or that'd be great.
It's a lot of unknowns here.
I know.
Anyways, there
But
you
now
go.
we have a docs. Now we have a docs thing right here. Yeah.
Perfect. You did it. Documented.
Documented. So that's cool. So yeah, so we can just have a folder called docs, because then that will automatically create, like, we can just do what you're doing. This one we can just use the built-in, if we have a folder called docs, that's what you need, right?
Yeah. Oh, no, not even.
Okay. Well, we'll figure it out.
Oh, maybe you do. Oh no, I think there's in the project settings in there, you can say auto generate for the whole thing or for just a folder. So you probably want a folder, maybe not a folder, because it is the docs. So probably.
Yeah, but you can go in here and say add file, so we can.
You can go to settings right now.
Yeah. So in here we can say.
I think it's in that one.
Yeah, it's right here. Sponsors, projects, to discussion. Yeah, we want discussion. Merge.
Where is it? There it is. That one. GitHub pages. Boop. Yeah. Oh, it's its own dedicated set. Wow, look at that.
Source. And we say none main.
Main.
And then we just say, so root, root or docs, right? So if we had something called docs.
Yeah, there you go.
And then did I do the whole where did it go? Where did the discussions? Yeah, there we go. So now discussion is up here. Yes. Excellent. Cool. This is the longest episode we've ever had.
It's true.
Yeah.
We kind of got off topic a little bit, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. I'm okay with that. Any we probably lost John, I'm guessing. It's probably nice weather down there in Southern California. Probably heading to the beach. While up here it's raining. Okay, I think
we're good.
Yeah. Okay, everybody. I don't know what we're doing next time. So if you have any suggestions, send them my way, Twitter, or that link that James is putting on the screen right now. And until then, stay beautiful.